Hi everyone, welcome back to Function Pilates. I'm Vanessa Kelly, founder of Function Pilates, located here in Tempe, Arizona, and today I'm back with another tower workout because you guys left so many amazing comments after I dropped the Tower 101 workout a few weeks ago. A lot of you guys were saying how much you loved reconnecting with the tower and how good your body felt afterwards, so I definitely heard you guys. One of my favorite comments was someone saying, I forgot how wonderful tower workouts were. And honestly, same. There's just something about the tower that feels so supportive, lengthening, and just challenging all at the same time. So today we're gonna build off the foundational tower exercises and add in some new movements, some fresh transitions, and keep it a full body flow that will challenge your strength, your posture, mobility, all of the same Pilates principles that we try to target when we are in Reformer as well. So if you're already completed the first tower workout, think of this as your next progression where we're taking foundational exercises originally designed for the tower and Cadillac and applying them into a full body flow that feels just both energizing and more supportive. One of the reasons I love the tower so much is because the springs provide such incredible feedback to the body. They help you connect deeper into your alignment, your posture, your control, and even your breathing throughout the exercises. So whether you're newer to the tower or someone who already loves working on this apparatus, I really hope this workout gives you something new to experience in your body today. And as you're doing the workout, I want you guys to comment below and tell me what exercise felt the best in your body today. Okay, so was there one movement that surprised you or one exercise that just challenged you more than you expected? I would love to hear it, and I absolutely love reading your comments because it just helps me know what types of workouts, what types of exercises, and just more educational content you guys want to continue seeing here on the channel. But honestly, this deeper understanding of movement, posture, and programming is exactly what we teach inside the Function Pilates Teacher Training Academy. So whether you want to become mat certified, mat reformer certified, or the complete full comprehensive certification that includes tower, chair, ladder barrel, and spine corrector, our programs are designed to help you truly understand posture, anatomy, and movement mechanics, programming, and real-world teaching applications so that you can become a confident, high-level Pilates instructor. So you can complete the program online from anywhere in the world or join us in the in-person courses here at our Tempe, Arizona studio. And if you're already a full comprehensive instructor who has been teaching for 3 or more years and you're asking yourself, what is next for you? Where is your career going? That's where our Master Trainer program comes in. So this program is designed for instructors and studio owners who are ready to elevate their teaching eye, their leadership skills, overall impact within the Pilates industry while already helping educate the next generation of instructors. So again, links below. I would love to talk to you guys. So thanks you again for being here and supporting the channel. And if you're ready to get started, let's go ahead and begin. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start with a warm-up here, and I'm gonna begin with the roll-up bar. So I have my roll-up bar already connected at the very top eyelets here, and I'm gonna have a seat. We're gonna place our feet on the outer portion of the poles as well. So, okay, so once we're here, we're gonna sit up nice and tall, all right? Fingers are facing forward, palms are pressing down, and let's begin to go into a roll up using the roll up bar. So you're gonna tuck your tailbone underneath you. You're gonna allow that bar to come with you. Arms are straight, and you're going to gently lie yourself down flat onto your back. Take a nice deep inhale here for that first one. Always feels nice. And then remember, this is our warm-up, so we want to engage the midsection here. So very slowly and carefully, let's bring your chin towards your chest and resist the springs as you allow for your body to do the work here. So you're just gently bringing the coils back together and sitting up nice and tall. So what do I mean by that? It basically means we're not going to rely on the springs to lift our bodies up, that we're going to pretend like we're doing roll up here as a mat exercise. But again, if you do struggle with this, it does provide some great assistance. And chin to chest, so let's slowly start to peel our way, like really draw your navel in towards your spine as you create that resistance as you bring yourself back to the top and sitting up nice and tall here, okay? Just puffing that chest up a few more times. Again, this is all about mobilizing the spine. So we're starting to warm up from the lumbar all the way up to the cervical spine here. And nice and easy, begin to knit the ribs together, chin to chest, just peeling your spine away ever so gently, one vertebra at a time, and returning all the way up to the top here. Beautiful. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and tilt the roll-up bar to the right. Okay, so think of the roll-up bar as a steering wheel, and then you're gonna start to lower yourself down. So there's just a little bit more emphasis on the obliques, but we're not going to come all the way down and rest our head. So once you feel your shoulder blades tap, turn that wheel to the left, and then go ahead and pick yourself right back up again. Beautiful, nice and tall, and then back to the top. Level out your bar. Let's turn it again to the right, and we're gonna do this again, where you are emphasizing more on the right side. Once your shoulder blades are going to tap, we're turning that bar all the way to the left, and then picking ourselves nice and slowly back to the top here. And nice and tall we go. Okay, so we'll do two more, but we're gonna reverse it, okay? We're gonna start now by tilting our bar to the left and then lowering it down. Focusing on that control here. Shoulder blades tap, they move through center, through the bar, angle it to the right, and then you're starting to lift back on up again. Tall, 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 turn to the left, lower it down. Beautiful. And tap, shoulder blades reach. We angle to the other side as we rotate the bar, peeling ourselves back on up again. Excellent. Good. Okay, so let's just do a little bit of bridging here. So let's flip ourselves around, and we're gonna use the roll-up bar still, so don't let it go very far. And then let's be in a hook line position where your knees are bent, your feet are flat, about hip distance apart here. Arms are up nice and tall. And from here, inhale. To prepare, exhale, you're gonna pull the bar towards your thighs as you bridge the hips up, getting some activation through the posterior side of the body, and then start to release everything all at once. Good. Again, very controlled as we're doing this. Inhale to prepare, and exhale, squeeze through those glutes, press firmly into the feet as you lift your hips up. Nice. And then starting to release everything at once. So the goal here is that we are, again, warming up the whole back side of our body and activate through your lat. So think of the muscles below your armpit as you press the bar down towards your thighs, and then releasing everything together. Two more. Think about how much pressure you can apply in both your hands as you're simultaneously applying pressure in both your feet. Does the bar look equal to you, or do you need to apply a little bit more pressure on one side? And then begin to release. As I said that, I could feel my left side just like kick on at that point. And start to, again, exhale, lift, squeeze those butt cheeks, press those palms in. Can we come up a little higher with the hips, pointing your kneecaps away from you, and then start to slowly release everything at once. Excellent. Okay, let's go ahead and release that. we're gonna sit ourselves up and we're gonna go into footwork here. So we're gonna grab a hold of our push through bar and get our safety strap ready. So again, I am going to angle it to a comfortable position based off my height. So if you are working with a balanced body piece of equipment, I'm on the second loop here. So again, this is a really good angle for me. The distance feels nice based off my flexibility and also my height. So the lower the bar is towards your body, towards your feet, that's gonna be, you're gonna have a little bit more resistance, plus I would suggest you being a little bit more flexible. If we were to bring this bar up higher and latch it on the higher loop, that's meaning maybe you're a little taller and also you are maybe a little bit tighter in the hamstrings and stuff like that. So I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a hold of medium spring. So on balanced body, this is a red spring. Again, guys, if you are in the market for any piece of equipment, you guys get 5% off with balanced body. So you can just email us and I can get you that code. Okay, let's see. I got also a light spring on too. So I'm using a medium and a light spring. And when we do this, we want to come to the side of the piece of equipment. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to do my footwork with my head underneath the push through bar, okay? Or I guess I should say our foot bar at this point. And then my head is mainly right at the edge of the mat here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and press up and I'm gonna place my feet underneath and I'm going to get to my heels. All right, so with this angle, this is going to feel like a stretch, a little deeper stretch. So if this is too much, you can watch my last video I posted on Tower where my footwork, I did this the other way. So my head was basically where my tailbone is at and my feet were the other way too. So it's just less strenuous on the hamstrings here. So again, you wanna focus on, I might scoot up a tiny bit. You wanna have your tailbone completely flat and grounded here, okay? So really just drop an anchor into it as we settle and open up those hamstrings. So heels are on parallel, or I'm gonna begin to soften through my knees as I bend, and then you wanna press through your hips, extend your legs. So you'll notice where your range of motion stops, okay? So pay attention to that. The muscle focus here is gonna be on the hamstrings and the glutes. So that's where I want you to really put all your attention into. Of course, you're going to feel the hamstrings stretching as well. That's the objective here, but the muscle focus is also in on the hamstrings. So again, try to avoid lifting your tailbone up as you are going through this. So just remind yourself to just like drop heavy down. That is going to increase the stretch of your hamstrings, absolutely. So just do the best you possibly can. 2 more. What I'm also watching for is that my knees are not splaying apart. So yes, I absolutely can come down further, but my knees will separate. So I want you guys to pay attention and keeping that tracking real nicely. Good, 1 more time. We soften and then we press back up. Perfect. So let's come down to our toes. So we're parallel on our toes. Let's point up in our high-heeled position. And we're gonna try to maintain your high-heeled position as you begin to soften and extend. So again, with our toes, it's going to feel like it's a longer distance. So it's gonna feel a little bit heavier because we are working with more distance here. Good, inhale to lower and exhale. I just love also the way our body speaks to us when we're doing different apparatuses. Is like, I wouldn't be feeling some of these things that are occurring like in my hip flexor if I was just doing like reformer. So I just love like where these apparatuses will point out like what's necessary in my body. Like, what do I need to fix? What do I need to work on? So really important to try to create inventory in your body so that you can identify as well. And push. And inhale to bend. 2 more. Good. Really opening up the backs of those knees. And last time. Try to relax those hips. Try to sink that tailbone in a little bit more. Good. Okay, let's go ahead. Toes are on the bar. You're in your Pilates V. We're going to bend. We get a little deeper, and this is where those inner thighs get to kick in. So inhale to bend. Exhale, we straighten. Good. Inhale to bend. And exhale, we straighten. Yes. And extend. So about 10 repetitions of each of these. So just like the reformer, when we're doing our footwork on the tower, Cadillac, whatever you want, whichever apparatus you're doing that, this is helping to strengthen your ankles, your knees, and your hips here, okay? And extend. Beautiful. 5 more. Reach. And I love the fact that we could like see what our feet are doing. Like there's no ignoring the fact. So if you're like, oh no, I'm in Pilates V, it's like, well, is one pushing in further than the other? Like you can't like cheat it out now because you can visually see if like your right side is pushing more into your left side or vice versa. So try to equal that out as best as possible. Good. 2. Tailbone heavy. Because again, we want to grab, like especially if you're tight, like you want to clench or grab. It's the best way I can like say that to you. 1 more. Exhale, reach. Beautiful. Okay, so let's go up to our heels wide. And I have my toes underneath the rail of the push-through bar. So this is going to increase the stretch here. So if you guys can't do that, if it doesn't feel good for your body, definitely don't. Just have your heels on in that wide V position. Good. And press. Inhale, bend. And exhale, press. Keep breathing. Relax your neck and shoulders. Soften those facial muscles. Just really start to tune into your body. Again, tailbone is anchored. How does that isolate and feel for those muscles that are working? Good. 4. Exhale, pressing for 3. Shoulders drop down. 2. And last time. Good. Let's come down to our toes. Okay. We'll give you guys a break here in a second. If you need to take a break, go ahead and take a break. But toes are on in that wide stance here. We're going to soften into external rotation and exhale, press. Good. Inhaling and exhale. Beautiful. We really should have done some roll downs in the beginning. I love doing a check-in, especially with tower, just because like with this footwork, man, it really lengthens out your muscles a lot to see how you feel at the end of class. Bend. Start to stabilize. If you start to feel like the tower might be shaking on you, try to isolate a little bit more through your muscles. Think of engaging through your midsection. Use your pelvic floor. It's one of the 4 components that make up the core. And press. Use your breath. 2nd component makes up the core. And soften through the knees. Reach. 3. 2. And 1. Good. Okay, so from here, we're gonna go to our toes back to parallel, okay? And we're gonna do some calf raises. So you're gonna point and flex. So go easy with the flexing because this is going to definitely give you a deeper stretch those hamstrings. and we don't want to surprise you with that. And flex, working through all those intrinsic muscles of the feet. Flex and point. Flex and point. Good. And think of equally pushing through all of your toes. Let's do 2 more here. And last time, let's add in a little bit of running. So we're gonna go ahead and switch, and switch, and switch. Excellent. And switch. Good, nice and controlled as we articulate through the ankle. Good, are we maintaining parallel position of the feet, or are we noticing that we are beginning to internally or externally rotate at the ankle? 3, 2, 1. And then you can bring that down carefully. Nice. Probably feels really good. Let's just do a little windshield wiper with those legs. And then we're going to move into some abdominal work here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and, obviously if you need to sit up, go ahead and do that. But I'm going to remove my red spring, my medium spring, and I'm going to just keep the light spring on for this next exercise. We're gonna do roll up with the roll up bottom loaded, okay? So bottom loaded meaning because the springs are coming from the bottom here, okay? So we're still gonna use this push through bar for it. Go ahead and push those arms straight up from here, all right? Let's go ahead and you can have, if you have a tight low back, let's separate your feet. If you don't tend to have a tight low back, you can keep them in a more narrow stance here, all right? So inhaling to prepare, and then exhale, you're gonna go peel yourself up with 2 straight arms as you come all the way up to the top here, okay? So you're here, and we're gonna start, we just did this in our warm up. I'm gonna have you just draw your navel in towards your spine, starting to slowly roll yourself back down, and head is the last thing to touch. Excellent. Inhale to prepare, and then exhale, chin to chest. We peel. Use your breath to lift, drop your shoulders, and then scooping through the belly, we begin to lower back down again. Nice. And nice and easy. Again, the weight's gonna feel heavy because it's coming from the bottom, so we've increased that tension. Exhale, knit the ribs. We lower everything back down. Good, one more time. Chin to chest. Let's lift up. Good, let's hold ourselves at the top. Can we bend through those elbows and straighten for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then starting to slowly lower yourself back down again. Beautiful. Okay, so from here, we're just gonna go ahead and come up to a tabletop position. So one leg at a time comes into tabletop. You're gonna curl your head and chest up, but not come up all the way, okay? So we're here, and let's just go ahead and hinge from the hips as we start to tap, but not actually touch the mat, and then bring it back up, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and inhale to tap, and then using your abdominal muscles to lift up. So think of your legs being so heavy here. And this is a mat exercise, right? And inhale and exhale, chin to chest, keeping your eyesight towards your pubic bone, and lift. Good, so we wanna, again, take any tension out from the neck. 3, and 2, nice and easy, and 1, and then rest everything back down. Beautiful. Okay, so let's carefully come on out of there, and we're gonna go into our hip series here. So I'm going to remove the spring. And we'll go ahead and place this back up. We don't need our bar anymore. So I like to take the safety strap out of the way so it's not bothering at all or confusing. And then we're gonna go into sideline series. So we're going to use, I already have the long purple springs here, which are the heavy springs when it comes to balanced body. So if you want to use your lighter springs, these are the yellow ones, by all means go ahead and do that. If you're on a different piece of equipment at home, you guys will know which spring tension is gonna be a good fit for you, because we're gonna do a sideline series here. So with that, let's go ahead on to our side. And I like to start with being an arm distance away from the pull in front of me, okay? Then I'm gonna go grab a hold. And again, one more time, I have my spring on the middle eyelet here. It's like right in the middle of the tower unit, and that's pretty much a default at this point. So if you want easier, you're going to move your spring down a little closer towards the mat here. If you want heavier, you're going to move it upwards, okay? So that will give you an idea of where you want to be as far as feeling resistance. Okay, so with that, resting your ear, and I'm gonna have my bottom leg here as a brace. So a little bit more beginner-like too. So if you haven't done this before, this will feel a little easier, okay? And then let's just begin to extend. So you can get a sense of what this feels like. So bending to come back in, exhale, we press. So either having your hand in front as like a kickstand, just for balance, or if you want, you can go ahead and have your hand to your hip. But again, we want to think about neutral spine here, so you don't want to just dump your entire obliques into the mat. You want to stay engaged. So inhaling here, lead with the heel, exhale to press. Inhaling and exhale, get long. Beautiful. I love where we are being so challenged by these independent springs. It really keeps us honest here. It's a humbling experience. So it just requires attention, requires our awareness. We can't be thinking about, you know, what's happening this weekend or what we're doing tonight. Like, it requires so much focus, mental focus. All right, and hold. Let's go ahead and begin to bring the leg forward, and then go ahead and bring it back. Good, so leading with the glute, getting that hamstring stretch, and exhale. So inhaling it forward, and exhale, draw those abs in, keep that chest puffed up so you have nice neutral alignment throughout the body. And press. Perfect. Take it here for another 4. Exhale for 3. Exhale for 2. Good. Nice. And last time, hold it right there. Okay, so then let's go ahead and lift it up and then exhale down. So we lift up, try not to move the hips, exhale down. Good, so still focusing on the glute med here, getting a nice inner thigh stretch as we reach, press, and press. Beautiful. Let's take it for 5. And 4. Glutes should be feeling some heat at this point. Excellent. So good for hip strengthening here as the pelvis is such a main support for the lower extremities. It acts as a shock absorber, but it also helps to support the spine, as well as the spine sits in the pelvic bowl. And then let's bring it back up again. Beautiful job. Let's go ahead and take our foot out of here and then let that go down. And we'll take it to the other side. So again, new side, new awareness. You want to just take your time with it, especially if this is your dominant side. We don't want to speed through everything because we're stronger on that side, right? So it requires us to just kind of take a step back and notice what we're feeling again. So, okay, stack through the shoulders, stack through the hips. I'm parallel with my right leg, my top leg, and I'm going to straighten it out. Of course, it always feels more challenging because I don't have a mirror on this side. So this really does keep you honest because you have to listen to what your body is doing, saying to you. Trying to keep on that same path here as I push through the heel. And I do feel my foot turning, so I want to adjust my foot a little bit. So yeah, can you guys feel if your foot is turning in the loop? Or maybe your position wasn't set up the right way in the beginning. But yeah, something to make a note of. And again, let's press it for 4. Exhale for 3. And 2. Good, last time. Hold it right there. Perfect. Okay, so we're back hip level. That's the goal. And stay in hip level, and then we're going to bring our leg forward. Don't let the spring control you. And then exhale, bring it back. I feel like I need to scoop my body back too at this point. So again, like I said, new sides. It's just so interesting how we have to take some time to play around with it just to make it feel equal. And press. Yeah, and I can see my leg is just trying to do what it wants to do here. Not sure if that's because I don't have a mirror or if it's because I clearly need to be doing more tower exercises. So if you start to see this channel turn into more tower workouts, then maybe that's why. No, I'll still keep it more reformer based and then sprinkle in some of the other apparatuses and extend back. Inhale. Forward and exhale. Let's go 3 and 2. Good, last time. Excellent. Hold it right there, guys. Let's go ahead and bring that leg up and then press down. Up. Relaxing your head into your bicep. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Keep the abs drawn in towards your spine to maintain stabilization. Relax through the shoulders. And take it here for another 3. Exhale 2. And 1. Good job. Okay, let's go ahead and carefully remove that and stay here for a second, guys. Let's not jump up too quickly. Let's do a well-deserved stretch here. Okay, so we just worked that We're gonna place the right foot into the loop, okay? And then we'll take our left ankle above the right knee to go into a hip stretch here, our piriformis stretch. So just really opening up through the hips here. You can push that knee away from you a little bit if you want, or you can also just double check your alignment. That does also make a difference. And then think of the right knee coming in towards your hip in order to deepen the stretch on that left hip here. So we'll do two different stretches here. This is the first one. Again, this is the piriformis stretch. Then we're gonna hit our quad hip flexor stretch. So a couple more deep breaths. Inhaling and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Okay, and then from here, what we're gonna do is carefully take the left foot off. But after you guys navigate your body to the side of the mat, and then you're gonna carefully take your right heel up towards your right hip if you need to provide assistance so that you are pointing your right knee down to the floor. So everyone's gonna be a little different. Maybe this is not even the right stretch for some of you guys, so you can skip it. But if you're there with me, think about, again, your right knee dropping downward so that you can feel the stretch in your quads. It could even go possibly higher up into the hip flexor. So again, you can even like use your hand to help navigate where your foot is. So if it's too much, just push it away. If you need more, you can pull on it, or you can just let the springs do what they want to do here. But another deep breath. And exhale. Okay. It's actually one of my favorite quad stretches because it like just gets in there like the right way, it feels like. Okay, so we're centered again, so make sure you feel centered. Let's take the left foot into the loop, and then you're gonna take your right ankle over the left knee. Again, watch that the hips are in alignment, and then think of your left knee that's coming in towards your body. Palms are up. It's just my reminder to not grip, like just to really open up and to let the stretch do its job. And it helps my shoulders open up too, so I'm not feeling so rounded in my, my shoulders and crowded through my collarbone. So that's one of the reasons why you'll always see me with my palms open like that. Good. Another breath here. And then carefully, let's take our right foot out. We're gonna shimmy our way over to the side. Okay, right leg is bent. And then carefully, you're gonna take your left heel to your left hip, okay? So again, you are in charge of this stretch, what feels good for you. Like point the knee down to the floor in order to feel the stretch enhance more, if that's what you need. And another deep breath. Think of pushing your right hip down if you're not feeling so much. Make sure that the hips are feeling leveled and aligned. And then carefully, let's take you out of here and release it. Okay, let's go ahead and sit ourselves up here, and we're gonna move into some full body work one exercises. I'm going to be using a light spring. So I'm gonna grab a hold of my blue spring again and attach that to the top. I'm gonna have that push through bar here. We're gonna go into what's a kneeling cat stretch. So we want to, again, think of this exercise as you're really using your own body weight in this exercise. Yes, I have the springs on here. I'm using a lighter spring so that I have some assistance, but again, I'm using a lot of my own body weight. So if you find this exercise difficult and challenging for your body, just up the spring. So just add on a medium spring, okay? So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and kneel. And let's just go ahead and turn our fingertips towards one another. Palms are on the push through bar. And I'm about hip distance apart there with my knees, okay? So we wanna watch for our neutral pelvis position. So I don't want you guys to push your hips back. I want you to, again, find that nice position there with your pelvis. So from here, we're gonna begin to press through to straight arms. You're gonna dive yourself down and come into a flat back, okay? So once you're in this flat back position, I want you to use your abs to navigate back up again. Push your hips forward, and then coming all the way back up to your kneeling position. Might scoot back a tad here. Okay, so it should feel like there's a challenging part to this exercise, and I'll tell you where. So again, we're gonna begin to straighten our arms. You're gonna drop your chin to your chest, and you're gonna start to slide all the way down, okay? And then come into a flat back here. Now, you're gonna scoop your belly, trying to keep your hips over your knees as you rebuild your spine to the top here and bend your elbows, okay? So that's why this is a full body work exercise, because it does require so much muscles working together, and it does create some heat. And then again, exhale, tuck that tailbone, just guide your body back up to the top. All right, let's do this 2 more times. Let's go ahead and straighten the arms, drop your chin to your chest, dive it through, flat back, and then scoop, 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 scoop. Try not to push your hips back, but push your hips forward. Back to the top. 1 more time. Let's go ahead, take it down. Breathe, shoulders relax, and then exhale. Good, all right. Okay, so let's go ahead and release that and let that go down. And then I'm gonna go ahead and grab a hold of my arm springs here, and I'm gonna trade them out. So I'm gonna place these long yellow springs where my purple ones were. So I'm trading out the springs I used for my hips and placing the other long springs here. They're lighter, that's why I'm doing that, because we're gonna get into some arm work, and I'm still gonna use the loops on these, so I'm trading that out. Okay, so we're gonna go into some chest expansion. So let's have our legs out long, nice and tall for me. All right, I'm gonna flex my feet to anchor myself a little bit more, so toes are looking up at the ceiling. Inhale to prepare here, and exhale, I'm gonna press my arms behind me, and then slowly release. So again, engaging the lats here, those muscles below our armpit, to help with our posture, to help with strengthening through our shoulders. And as we sit up tall, this is activating and challenging our core strength. So you're gonna feel your abs working in this exercise. So if you don't feel them, think of puffing your chest up a little bit more, pulling your belly button away from your waistband. And if you need to, I'm a huge fan, let's sit up tall. We don't need to have straight legs, so you can bend your knees if you need to in order to allow this to happen. 3, exhale for 2, and 1 more. Good. And then let's go ahead into a version here of our roll down we're gonna head into biceps, okay? So from here, we'll tuck that tailbone under, we'll bring the hands with us, okay? So the abs are doing a fine job here of maintaining us. And then you're gonna go ahead and start to release and then pull, which I can come down a little bit more because I just am looking for some more resistance, and pull. Exhale. Let's go for 8. So you're co-contracting with your bicep and your tricep. So try to keep your elbows in space. So what I mean by that is that they're not gonna drop down or lift up. That's how we're gonna target and isolate the muscle groups here. Good. Let's take it for 4. Abs are in, nice and strong. And 3. And 2. Good, one more. Beautiful. Hold it right there and slowly let's bring it back up again. Excellent. So let's drop that right spring. I'm going to sit this way and do a little bit of sideline, so external rotation. So I'm gonna have, we might need to play with the positioning of your body here, but as you're holding onto this loop and you're tall, you're just gonna go ahead and open it out. So this is working through the rotator cuff. So 2 out of the 4 rotator cuff muscles, which are the infraspinatus and the teres minor. And those muscles sit right there, right above the shoulder blade. So because this is working 2 out of the 4, any external rotation is going to be highly recommended in your workout to help with strengthening of the shoulder here, and also for alignment of your shoulder. Okay, so if you have a tendency to see your shoulders round a little bit more, it's gonna be so good for alignment purposes. Good, let's go for 3 and 2. Good, one more and open. Nice. Let's switch right here and we're gonna go ahead and take it. This is where I'm gonna have to adjust a little bit more. I'm gonna scoot myself out just to increase my resistance, okay? So from here, we're gonna take our palm open and we're gonna take it over the body. So try not to rotate your body. Just allow this to just breeze over and exhale. Yes, keeping a nice open chest. And same idea, we're working through the rotator cuff muscles, but this is a different one. This is subscapularis that we're working with. And over. Think of like rocking a baby. Like if a baby was just laying in your arms here, think of that motion. Exhale for 3 and 2 and 1. Beautiful. Okay, let's set that down. So we're gonna get that same exercise on the other side. So stay in the same position, just literally swivel around, okay? And grab a hold of your loop, nice and tall for me. Palm is facing my body. And then again, we're gonna go into it. Exhale and inhale. Good. Good. If you guys are also looking for more tips or education advice, I share a lot of that content on my Instagram account, and that's at Vanessa Kelly Pilates. So I'd love for you guys to join me over there and show me a comment there. Let's see if you like the information I'm sharing with you guys. And inhale, let's go for 4 and 3 and 2. Good, one more time. And release it. Okay, so then what we'll do is I'm gonna just kind of scoot myself over to the left just a little bit because I'm working with my right side, so I know I'm gonna be stronger on that side. And we're gonna start with our elbow in next to our body, gripping through the loop, nice and tall, shoulders back. And we exhale to open and close. And exhale, open. And I have a mirror to my right side, so I'm just checking for my alignment to make sure that I don't lose the angle of my elbow. So I want a nice 90-degree angle there. And take it for 6 and 5 and 4, 3, 2. Good, one more. And release it. Perfect. So then let's circle our way to the front here. And I'm going to continue with keeping my legs bent. You guys have the option of keeping your legs straight. That's okay too. And we'll do a little bit of hug a tree. So nice and tall for me. And we're gonna bring our fingertips to touch. And open. And close and open. Good. And this is gonna just really challenge how straight we can allow our bodies to be in this position. And let's try. I'm gonna extend my legs out a little bit more because I can feel myself rocking. So this, for me, gives me a little bit more support. So if you felt like it was harder with the crossed legs, try it with straight. See if that feels different. 3. Exhale, 2. And 1. Good. Okay, from here, we're gonna go ahead into one more thing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and have you guys start with your palms down, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and begin to drop our chin to our chest. We're gonna roll down, straighten our arms, tap our thumbs, lift our chest nice and wide, circle everything around, okay? A lot more moving steps here. So you nod your chin to your chest. You're kind of rounding yourself forward. You're pressing into the resistance. Tap, then lift up together, head and chest and arms, circle them around. 3 more times, back to your chicken wings. Roll yourself down, press it up, forward, tap, lift all the way up. And we're here, 2 more. We roll ourselves forward, dive nose to knees, extend, tap, lift. This is rowing front 1. And last time, we go ahead and roll, extend, we tap down, we open the chest, breathe into it, and release it. Beautiful. Okay, let's go into some lateral flexion. We're gonna go into mermaid, and I'm just gonna use my blue spring again, my light spring. Because again, with mermaid, this is all about using the obliques. Yes, you're gonna get a nice stretch there through your rib cage, but I want you to do the work with your obliques as you're doing this exercise too. So I'm still zigzagged here. This feels comfortable to me. You can obviously cross your legs. You wanna place your right hand down onto the push-through bar. Left palm is up. We're gonna reach up and over. And just start to feel the spine laterally flex here. Shine your ribs up towards the ceiling. And then resist. Resist, resist, resist as you begin to sit yourself up. We can lean into it, press. Beautiful. Good. And then using your abs to reach up and over. And resist, resist, resist. Reach into it. We'll do this one more time. And take it down, up and over. And last one. Through. Open up through the ribs on that side, and then release it. Okay, so the other side. So let's, again, zigzag through those legs. Left hand is on, and we're gonna reach up and over. Ribs shine up high to the ceiling. And start to lower back down. Pressing into it as you lean to the left. And press on through. And resist as you come up. Making the torso work for it. Good, shoulders down. And let's do this one more time. Navel to spine, completely engaged. Shoulders away, plug that shoulder back. And we lift and we lean. Beautiful. And rest it there. Okay, let's finish it with a little bit of extension work, but today we're gonna go into swimming. So I'm gonna have you guys just go ahead and come to your stomach and just get long on your mat. Legs are separated here. Let's begin to lift our right arm and our left leg, okay? And then I'm gonna have you go ahead and switch sides as your left arm comes up, right leg, and then continue. Trying to stay afloat here. Lengthen through your legs, reach in opposition through your arms, connect with the whole backside of your body, glutes, hamstrings, upper back, and breathe at your own pace. Stabilize through your pelvis. Eyesight down. Good, neck is in line with the spine for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and rest it down. Beautiful work. You can sit back. Maybe if you need to, just take that child's pose. Separate the knees here and stretch those fingertips out in front of you. And then start to come back up again. Okay, let's finish it with some roll downs. All right, so from here, we're gonna go ahead and actually, I think what I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna do the roll downs up here on top. So you can join me all the way at the top, hip distance apart there with the feet. Let's go ahead and keep our hands on the roll-up bar, and then you're gonna begin to drop your chin to your chest, and you're just gonna go all the way down. Hips over the ankles, hold, and then just take a breath and begin to restack. Disconnect your hands from the bar, lift your head up, roll the shoulders back. Stretch those arms up towards the ceiling, dive yourself down, connecting your palms to the push-through bar. Press on through. Good, holding it there. Use your breath, guide yourself back up again. Head's the last thing to come up. And shoulders roll back, head lifts. Beautiful job today, guys. I hope you enjoyed another tower workout. Again, hit a thumbs up if you like this. Feel free to share the workouts if you know other people are gonna really like this too. And if you're not yet subscribed, hit the notification bell so you're not missing out on my Monday workouts. See you guys next time.